I am Rudo, and at least I haven't had to pour water on myself yet. Welp. Avs win over the Nashville Predators 6-2.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but water is still dripping down my face. It's great. Really loving this. Not cold at all. Definitely not freezing in my seat. But the Avs certainly weren't cold in this game. All of the problems that they had in Dallas were completely flipped in this game. While the Avs did have some very high-quality performances individually at the top of their lineup, this was a great team win top to bottom. Everything was clicking. Everyone was doing what they needed to do. And that started with the power play early in the game, not just being on it, but getting it. The Avs were out skating Nashville, and that leads to opportunities. They get that power play, and Mikko does his thing. Avs don't necessarily win this face-off on the power play, but they're able to outwork Nashville to keep it in the zone. Some great pressure from Kadri to intercept that and get it back to the point at Berkey. And it's a pretty simple play from here. They work it up to Makar, and he's just going to work it around. There's nothing too fancy with this. They stick to their perimeter play. But Landeskog recognizes that Mikko has room on his stick side here. This isn't a stick that's going to get lifted or touched because Nashville's committing to the passing lanes in the middle to Kadri. So he just throws it down to Mikko, and Mikko does that crazy chip shot thing that I still don't understand how it works geometrically. It's such a weird play that Mikko has decided to make himself so good at, but hey, if it works, it works. The Avs go up 1-0. Here's the thing about back-to-backs. A one-goal lead is basically meaningless, especially a one-goal lead that you have to work hard for, because there's that cap of stamina that each team has in a back-to-back, and if you exert enough energy, you're going to gas yourself out in a back-to-back. If it's only for one goal, it's a really easy comeback for the other team a lot of the time. So as the first period progressed, while you felt like the Avs were playing well and were the better team in the period, you really wanted to see that second goal for the Avs to cement themselves in the lead of this game. Thankfully, Nashville were the ones on their heels and continued to take penalties against the Avs. The Avs get one later in the first that they come through with again. This one a more classic Mikko goal. Alright, look at the puck movement on this one for Colorado. Yes, it starts out perimeter based, but look at Naz as well. He's moving around in that bumper spot, getting all the way to the dots on either side of the ice, dragging Nashville around a little bit instead of just sitting in the slot and not really moving anything. That gives a lot more space that opens up, and the Avs are even able to work it into the middle with Naz. You get Nashville chasing the play by doing things like that. That eventually opens up Mikko for his favorite one-time bomb. He's already tried it a couple times in this game. He was going to get it eventually, and this one, bam, you can't shoot it any better than that. Avs are up 2-0 after the first, feeling much better about themselves after that junky Dallas game. Second period, Avs did hit a couple of posts, so they weren't finishing all of their opportunities, but they were generating a bunch. You like to see that in a game like this. Again, hindsight's 2020, a game where the Avs put 6 into the net. They're not going to score all of them, but more chances generated than just the ones they were finishing. And I do think this was a quality game from the Avs, as I already mentioned, because when they made mistakes, they did get punished for them. Nashville's first goal of the game comes directly off of a puck mistake. Problems start here long before the goal goes in. Burakovsky with a turnover in the neutral zone. It's a loose puck still up for grabs. You're not in that bad of a spot here. But as Sam Girard commits to this puck, the Avs have all 3 of their men back going forward. So this puck has to get up the ice or they're in trouble. And Girard's just a little bit too casual with it. One hand on the stick on the backhand side. Tries a little cute little flip thing that's just not going to get the job done a lot of the time. Credit to Nashville. They make a great play here to knock this puck out of midair. So it is a nice play on Nashville's side too, but Girard has got to be a little bit crisper and cleaner than that, otherwise you get opportunities coming against. Now, the initial opportunity is rubbed out. Nashville doesn't do a great job of it, but they're able to maintain possession in the offensive zone, and while the Avs are still scrambling to position up, they're just going to throw a shot on net from the point, which ends up getting redirected, and in it goes. Not a whole lot you can ask out of Johansson to do with that. You just have to be cleaner. And this goal ended up feeling like a turning point in the game for all of the right reasons. We could have seen the Avs struggle to get the momentum back and kind of flounder around as we've seen sometimes this year when teams start to mount a comeback against them. Or what we ended up seeing was the Avs take control of the game right back and stick in the driver's seat, in large part thanks to the dude back in the lineup tonight. He does really seem to make the Avs significantly better. It's impressive from a 20-year-old kid. Avs committing their defenseman down low. Makar handling the puck in the corner here to start this play. Eventually drops off to Landy, and Landy just goes to work on these boards. He's recognizing Nashville isn't strong enough on him, and he can skate up and down these boards as much as he wants. Free to do whatever he wants. He gets almost everyone on Nashville looking at him. You see everyone kind of face this direction. These two are turning around to face him coming back down the boards. Byram recognizes it on the opposite side, does the run to the back post. Landy picks him up just there. I don't know if you saw it. Just a slight little head check, and then puts an unreal backhand pass on this. You also have the bait, right? You stick the forward in front on the near side, you get the eyes caught. Everyone's trying to catch this passing lane while the Byram one opens up, and then Byram, a ridiculous finish here. He actually cheats in off of the back post, which probably could have stayed there and would have had a free goal, but he comes to the middle and then chips it high and over the near shoulder. A beautiful deflection, redirect, whatever you want to call it. I think we accurately sold the talent level of this hockey team in the preseason, in the offseason. During that first 10-game stretch, I think a lot of people came down on them, and there's a reality of actually playing hockey games where you're not going to hit your ceiling every single night. But on paper, this is the most talented team in the NHL, at least when they're healthy. I truly believe that. The 2-goal lead again, the Avs kind of settle into this game, and they're happy to take this 3-1 lead through the second period. The Avs kill off a couple of penalties of their own as well as things get evened out, and they're feeling pretty darn good. Now, there was the entire situation with the scrum late in the second period. Landy gets knocked down, slides into the net. Can't really control himself. Those things happen. I also don't have a huge problem with the scrum that ensued. Things are going to happen when a goalie gets hit, even if it's a pure accident. All of that is fine up until the point where Ekholm gets a hold of Mikko's helmet and rips it off. Now you're starting to drift into territory that penalties should be assessed. Guys are doing things that are over the line. The next problem becomes Landeskog says, hey, you can't do that. That's not okay, especially not to do it to the best player in the game for the Avs at that point. He goes in to fight him, and Landy fights him, despite Ekholm not wanting part of it. Landy absolutely gets his money's worth. I don't really have a problem with Landy taking the 2, 5, and 10 there even. Perfectly okay with all of that. Somehow, though, Ekholm only comes out of that with just 2, because despite him begging someone to fight him by messing with Mikko's helmet, he just sits there and takes punches. Got the bloody face, but either way, would have liked to see more penalties on Ekholm there. In the end, it doesn't end up mattering, but Landy did the right thing. That's all I want to say about it. So the Avs end up having to kill a penalty to start off the third period. They have no problem doing that, and then they get right back to it. Again, a super simple play starts this for the Avs. Nashville actually wins this faceoff and goes to the blue line, but Val pressures, essentially seals it off, and allows the puck to roll through to Taves, and they're uncontested with the puck going the other direction now. It's just a flip out where it bounces a couple of times, goes the Avs' way a little bit, and Mikko finds it on his forehand side, going up against Roman Josi, and Mikko just moose modes this one. There's no two ways about it. He's able to hold off Josi with the one hand, corral it, one hand on the stick, and then pull up off of Josi, create separation. Nichushkin has beaten Matt Duchene down the middle of the ice and hit him as he holds off Josi and keeps him distracted. From there, Nichushkin, yeah, you got to finish that one, right? When Mikko Rantanen is playing his best, I genuinely don't know how you stop him. In the words of Peter McNabb, he's just too big and too strong. He's going to beat you one way or another. And this is what he does to Roman Josi. You know, that guy who won the Norris a couple of years ago? Yeah, he makes him look like a junior defender. Up 4-1, it was at this point that I thought I was going to get out of this game without having to dump water on myself. The Avs go through the third period with a 3-goal lead now. Pretty much cruise controlling it at that point. This one was all wrapped up. And then Mikko made sure that the water was getting poured. Seems even the hockey gods wanted me to pour water on my head. First of all, this is an unbelievably good poke check by Taves to knock this puck loose. Just gets his stick right on the puck, on the money, which allows Kadri to pick it up, and it's off to the races. They go from there. Kadri in a 2-on-1 situation with Burakovsky here, and they're able to do absolutely nothing. Kadri tries the cross pass, but it ricochets off the stick and out hard. Now, unfortunately for the dryness of my hair, it ricochets out directly to Mikko Rantanen, who made a great read. Rantanen was actually coming up the far wall, saw the puck kick out, and cut hard to the middle of the ice. Nashville not quick enough to respond, and you even see, unsure where the puck is going, turn the wrong direction here, which allows Mikko to walk all the way in to the slot and pretty much the hash marks before he hat tricks it up. I don't know. It seems like Nashville even wanted that water to get poured on my head the way that puck came out to Mikko, but I'm happy to do it. When the Avs are playing like this, everything is vibing. Up 5-1. You hear that noise? That's Matt Duchene's music. Here we see a pigeon in its natural habitat. Its initial attempts to gain goals are thwarted by the goalie, but as it remains in and around the net, it is able to take advantage of the fruit of others. The puck gets thrown down in deep, and it's just thrown towards the net and pinballs around and through. You can't even tell that it's gone in the net, but the pigeon always celebrates. Cool nothing goal. Moving on, another nothing goal, but this one goes the Avs way, and maybe it's something to start a little bit of a spark for the Avs, get those depth players going and producing a little bit more. Didn't mean a whole lot in the context of the game, but for the individuals, this could be a jumping off point. It's a 5-2 game with 1:14 left to play. This game is over, but look at the Avs putting in the work all the way to the buzzer, pressuring Nashville in the neutral zone, getting their stick on pucks, creating opportunities, and getting going the right direction. Knack heading up the ice once he realizes EJ has the puck, and he's joined on the rush by the other Avalanche forwards very quickly. They set up a 2-on-1 opportunity because Nashville kind of quit playing, and the Avs finish the game. Knack makes a great pass over to Jost here, and Jost is able to finish one. That brings you to your 6-2 final, and there's too many high-level players on the Avs to even go over all of them effectively. Multi-point nights for Makar, Taves, Kadri, Landeskog, and of course Mikko. The dudes at the top of the list for Colorado finally arrived, finally showed up and took a game over where you just didn't really have to worry about this one. And even then, they still got production from Val Nichushkin, from Tyson Jost, so this team is just clicking right now. They seem to be continuing where their winning streak left off instead of letting that Dallas game affect them. In Mikko's case, he's now back over that point per game mark. First to 10 goals on the Avs, just beating out Cale Makar for that one. And this is the guy the Avs expect and need out of him. He has to be a quality player at his price point, and it's great to see him just straight up winning games by himself. Camera died, so we'll just wrap this one up there. Avs win this one 6-2. They move to 7-1 in their last 8. Poised at worst, even if they drop both games on their next back-to-back, to be 7-3 in this stretch. If they win one or both of those, 8-2, 9-1. That is a ridiculously good margin. They've now completely erased any worries from the first 10 games of the season, and they're right where they need to be, ready to move back into the top of the Central Division once they make up all the games in hand they have. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and Mikko makes me wet.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the babe. The fun isn't over yet. It is Avalanche time.